Many consider Baltimore Ravens kicker Justin Tucker to be one of, if not the greatest kickers in NFL history. His accuracy, his acumen, and his confidence on the field have led to one of the most illustrious and historic NFL careers for a place kicker we have ever seen. And yet, in 2024, he finds himself, for the first time in his career, dealing with the one thing that has eluded him all these years, that being failure. And for the first time in his entire career, Justin Tucker's kicking accuracy has fallen below 80%, leaving the entire NFL world bewildered, astonished, and asking themselves the question, is Justin Tucker cooked? In this video, we're going to take a look at exactly why Justin Tucker is struggling, what he can do to get out of it, and answer the question, should the Baltimore Ravens move on from arguably the greatest kicker in NFL history? I'm Omer Q for Real Take Sports. Be sure to smash that thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. All right, let's dive right in and first talk about who Justin Tucker is. For many of you, you might know him as the one kicker you actually recognize on an NFL field. Place kicking is not historically one of the more glamorous positions for an NFL player. And outside of Sebastian Janikowski, Adam Vinatieri, and Justin Tucker, over the last 20 years, you may not be able to really name many other place kickers. And the fact that Justin Tucker is one of the NFL's household names, despite that, is in itself an achievement and a testament to what he has accomplished on the field. Tucker ranks as one of the NFL's 100 best NFL players routinely, and has a reputation to be one of the more accurate kickers, not just in this current era, but in NFL history. Prior to 2024, Tucker was considered the most accurate kicker in NFL history with a career field goal percentage of 90.2, putting himself leagues above some of the other all-time greats, such as Adam Vinatieri. And again, Justin Tucker has made a career out of not only being an accurate kicker in the regular season, but also making some of the more historic kicks in not just NFL history, but college football history. You may remember the final game between Texas and Texas A&M, a historic rivalry that has spanned generations. Well, on that field, on that day, Justin Tucker was the one who made the game-winning field goal for the Longhorns and led them to victory in what many expected to be the final encounter between two of college football's most perennial programs. And he took that into the NFL. In 2012, when the Baltimore Ravens were coming off of one of the bigger missed opportunities of their entire existence in the AFC Championship game, Justin Tucker really came to the rescue. Billy Cundiff had just missed a field goal, a chip shot no less, that would have sent them into overtime against the New England Patriots, and with the way they were playing, potentially into the Super Bowl in 2011. However, after Cundiff missed a chip shot, all of the questions surrounding the Baltimore Ravens were, what do they do about their kicking position? While they didn't draft a kicker in 2012, they did indeed sign Justin Tucker as an undrafted free agent, and this led to a kicking battle in the 2012 preseason that Tucker won handedly. And just like that, the kicking woes for the Baltimore Ravens seemed to be alleviated. He was put to the test pretty early. Justin Tucker, in a Week 3 game in 2012 against the New England Patriots, had his first real test against the team that Cundiff had missed that historic kick against. Only this time, the Ravens kicker made it. And even though it was by a razor-thin margin, Justin Tucker did something that no other kicker or really Ravens player in a couple of years was able to do, that being a reason why the team beat the New England Patriots, which at that point was a bit of a boogeyman for the Baltimore Ravens. Anyway, moving forward, Justin Tucker also had a spectacular rookie season where he hit 30 out of 33 attempts with a 90.9 field goal make percentage, launching him to be one of the NFL's best kickers that regular season. And he was put to the test again in that postseason. Once again, the Baltimore Ravens were in a position where they were up against a perennial rival, this time Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos. And once again, the Baltimore Ravens had to rely on their kicker in order to not just tie the game, but win the game. And in a double overtime thriller in Denver, after Joe Flacco completed the pass to Jacoby Jones that many call the Rocky Mountain Rainbow, the Mile High Miracle, it was Tucker's turn to hit a bomb of his own. And he did that when he made that field goal, sending the Baltimore Ravens to the 2012 AFC Championship game and a rematch against the New England Patriots. And this played a critical role in that Super Bowl run that year for the Ravens. And just like that, Tucker had not only exercised the demons of kickers past for Baltimore, but he had also made himself one of the city and team's most beloved figures and put himself on the map as far as kickers. And this success would continue in the coming years. On a Monday Night Football game in the 2013 NFL season against Detroit, Justin Tucker helped kick the Ravens to victory that day, making 6 of 6 field goals, including a game-winning 61-yard field goal with only seconds left in the game that gave the Ravens the win. And just like that, the legend of Tucker grew. And as years and years and years went on, Justin Tucker proved himself to be automatic. Regardless whether it was from 30 yards or 50 yards, Justin Tucker had the leg, the accuracy, the acumen, and the routine in order to be the best kicker in the NFL. And this reputation even grew in the 2021 NFL season when Tucker was faced with a challenge that no other kicker in NFL history had ever faced, winning the game on a 66-yard field goal as time expired. Justin Tucker is the only kicker in NFL history that could have been trusted to make that kick. John Harbaugh knew it, the team knew it, and most of all, Justin Tucker knew it. And by a razor-thin margin, doink, doink, he made the kick. And just like that, it was over. Many people at that point were already calling Justin Tucker the greatest kicker in NFL history. Actually, even more so than Adam Vinatieri, putting him to the side and putting Tucker to the forefront. And all of the work over the past decade that Tucker has done now in order to gain this reputation seems to be slipping away now, as he is in the midst of a slide that he has never seen. So far in the 2024 NFL season, Tucker has made 17 of 23 field goals, giving him an accuracy rate of only 73.9, by far the lowest of his career and the lowest in the league up until now for qualifying kickers. To put it bluntly, Justin Tucker is not kicking the ball well, something he has always done well up until this point. Now, there are many reasons as to why Tucker could be dealing with this slide. Of course, he is older now. He's been in the league for over a decade. Maybe his leg is done. Maybe he's just washed. Maybe he's in his own head. But Jay Feely, former NFL kicker and now analyst, has actually come up with, I think, the most likely scenario for why Tucker is struggling so much this NFL season.
So the Justin Tucker one is super interesting to me. And I had said this on a couple of interviews, and then I got a call this last week from a former kicker, and we were talking about it, and he had said the exact same things without either of us knowing, that we had talked about it and done interviews, but we said the exact same thing. And that Justin Tucker is dealing with failure for the first time in his career. And a guy like me, I missed a decent amount. So I knew how to deal with failure. Whereas Justin Tucker has not missed. And so he has never dealt with failure. He's had this invincible shield around him his entire career from college to the NFL, and he's been able to not worry about missing. And so he's super aggressive through the ball. And he's confident when he's kicking the ball. And he's never doubting his form and doubting that when I hit it this way, it's going to go through. And that allows you just to be really smooth and aggressive through the ball. If you're a golfer and you get on the tee and you always hit it in the fairway, you don't think about your form when you're driving the ball. You just rip it. And you're going to hit the ball and it's going to go in the fairway. And then all of a sudden you start yanking it out of bounds and hooking it. And you start thinking about your form. And now it's not the same swing. Now everything's different. And you're hoping the ball is going to go where you want it to go rather than knowing it's going to go where you want it to go. And that's what Justin Tucker is dealing with really for the first time in his career. And you watch him in some of those games and you can see it on his face. He hits the ball and he's like, I can't believe that just happened. And he's never had to deal with that. And so it's a mental challenge for him more than anything.
Jay Feely is exactly right. One of the most underlooked aspects of place kicking, especially the way Justin Tucker and the Baltimore Ravens do it, is the mental aspect of it. Whether it was Sam Cook or Jordan Stout as the holder in Baltimore, no matter what, that kicking operation has always been something that they have honed in on, something that they have practiced, something that they have emphasized as a large part of Justin Tucker's success. And once you get in your head as a kicker, it is one of the hardest things for you to actually break out of. Sometimes kickers don't even get out of it. Look at someone like Nick Folk, who kicked in the NFL for years, and when he got the shakes, or whatever you want to call the proverbial mental struggles that he was going through, it cooked him for like a couple of years before he finally made a comeback. And I'm not saying that Justin Tucker is going to be horrible for the next couple of years. I'm not even saying that the Baltimore Ravens should cut him. However, I do think that at the end of the day, Tucker getting over this is going to require him getting out of his own head. It is going to require him not only remembering all of the success he's had, but also being confident in his abilities. And I don't think that that's something that's going to happen over the next couple of weeks. I don't think that's something that's going to happen even over the next couple of months. It may even take an entire offseason for Justin Tucker to get back to where he was. But to the question, should the Baltimore Ravens cut him? Should they release him? Should they go elsewhere for their place kicking? Well, the answer is a little bit more complicated, because while, as we've seen, there is so much place kicking talent out there that it's easy for one to say that they should move on and they should hire someone else and just bring someone in off the street, the reality is you have no guarantees. And while I'm sure John Harbaugh, as a special teams guy, kind of understands what to look for in this, I also think that he is looking at a situation where he knows what Justin Tucker brings to the table. And he knows that Tucker isn't facing an Adam Vinatieri in 2019 situation where he's a 45-year-old man who actually might not have the talent he once used to have. Tucker is still in his 30s. He is still able to kick the ball a pretty far length and has missed many of his kicks by razor-thin margins. So the reality is Tucker needs time. And the only question the Baltimore Ravens need to ask themselves is it time that they can afford? Their window obviously is slipping away from them. They have Lamar Jackson for the next couple of years, but more so than Jackson, it's the talent around him. How long are they going to have pieces like Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, others on the defensive side of the ball like Roquan Smith, Marlon Humphrey, and others? It is not guaranteed that that team in that core are going to be together for the next couple of years. And the question for them is, do they want to risk it for a kicker? A kicker who has made some of the biggest kicks in franchise history, a kicker who has made some of the biggest kicks in NFL history, but nonetheless, still a kicker. In my view, I would give Justin Tucker the time. I have enough confidence in him after watching him as a Ravens fan for the past 12 plus years that I think he can get out of this. But then again, I'm not a coach. I'm just a guy on YouTube. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let me know in the comment section what you think the Ravens should do and what do you believe the problem with Justin Tucker is. Until next time, be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.